Hey guys, Chris here with the Good Old Gamer. So the day of reckoning is finally here. AMD's Next Horizon gaming event at E3, it's actually still going on. However, I got the news that I needed to hear, and well, it was time to go ahead and make a video. So the real question mark that we had about Navi wasn't so much its performance. We had a pretty good idea. The 5700 XT, slightly faster than the RTX 2070. And then you have the 5700 or 5700 Pro, whichever way you want to call it. That one comes in a little bit faster than the RTX 2060. Now, the real question was pricing, because that performance level is perfectly fine. Both of those are good for 1440p, and most gamers would be pretty happy with that level of performance at the right price. Now, I've done videos on this channel, I'll probably throw up a thumbnail of it, where I said they could get away with $399 with something faster than an RTX 2070. I could see that being okay. 20% less expensive and being slightly faster, greater than or equal to. Okay, they could definitely get away with that. So my personal thought was the $399 price point, while being higher than what most people were hoping for, it wouldn't be unreasonable. It would make sense, and it would offer great competition to NVIDIA. NVIDIA would then probably lower prices, then AMD could lower prices a little bit more, and still continue offering a great value. That's not the case. So the brand new 5700 XT mainstream GPU is now coming in at $449. With a little bit better performance than the RTX 2070, we're talking about $50 less. So NVIDIA could either A, just lower their prices by $50, and then there you go. It's basically the same, little bit different. Maybe AMD will be a little bit faster, but not by much. Or NVIDIA could refresh their lineup with faster memory or whatever, and then replace their current GPUs, so come out with like a 2070 Ti or 2070 Super, sell that for $499 to $599 like they've been selling the 2070s, and then just discount the current 2070s down to the same price. And guess what's going to happen? More people are going to buy the RTX 2070 than the AMD component, or competitor, I mean. Oh man, they were handed a golden opportunity here. They're doing so well on the CPU side that I think we all just assumed that AMD kind of figured out how to market their stuff. Now, I do kind of understand where they're coming from. If gamers aren't going to buy their stuff, the 20-ish% of gamers that do buy AMD cards, they might as well maximize their profits off of them. If they're only going to have 20% of the market, might as well, like I said, just make as much money as they can off of that 20%. The difference this time around is that NVIDIA actually left themselves in a really, really bad position. The RTX 2070 cost the same amount as the card that it replaced and performed the same. So no performance gains per dollar. And then the same thing with the 2080. The 2060 did offer a little bit more performance than the card that it replaced. It replaced a GTX 1070, which was $379, so it's a little bit cheaper, and it performs faster than that. But I'm mostly just going to be focusing on the higher end card here because it's just not enough. It's not enough here. So for $50 less, so AMD is technically giving you slightly better performance per dollar, but it's not enough. It's much like the RTX 2060 and maybe even technically worse. I haven't done the math on it, but the RTX 2060 was not a good value because you can get GTX 1070 Ti's for less than that and it performs about the same. You can get Vega 56s for less than that and it performs about the same. These cards don't make any sense. And then if you look at the 5700 non-XT, it costs more than the RTX 2070. Granted, it's a little bit faster. It's about 5 to 10% faster, but it costs more. It costs about 10% more. So you get no better value out of the AMD card. I guess it does have the 2 extra gigabytes of VRAM. You can say that that's value, but then you can also say RTX's value, and then I can say Radeon Chill's value. They each have their ups and their downs, but at the end of the day, when it comes to price to performance, AMD has not moved the needle. The price to performance is exactly where it was when today started. When I woke up this morning, things have not changed. In fact, it's up to NVIDIA. If NVIDIA wants to, they don't even have to do anything. They can leave their cards exactly where they are, not change anything, and they're going to be just fine. But if they want to, they're the only ones that can deliver better value. And it hurts my brain to actually say that to you guys. But we have to look to NVIDIA to actually fix the mess that they created. Now, granted, it's not AMD's problem to fix NVIDIA's mess, but it buys a lot of goodwill with the community. Like I said, in my previous video, I'm okay with them charging more. Basically, charging $399 for a mainstream card that probably should have been $299. It's fine, because in this market, they could get away with that. The 5700 XT at $399 would have been okay. But at $449, granted, it's not a lot more. It's like 12% more. But that 12% is a lot. That puts them way too close. And like I said, NVIDIA can just drop their prices. And I think they might just do it anyway. I'm sure that they have some sort of card refresh in the works. So this news right here is no threat to them as is. I think they're just going to do it so NVIDIA can buy some goodwill in a way that they haven't in a long time. And if NVIDIA brings out, let's say, a refresh for their lineup, faster 2070, let's just call it the 2070 Ti, just because we don't know what else that they're going to do. So if they bring that out, and that's $499, and let's say they really wanted to kick NVIDIA in the jewels on this one, they could lower the 2070 to like $429 and undercut them, or go all the way down to $399 and just make AMD look stupid. They could do either one, because they'll have something at each price point. So what do they care? You're going to be buying an NVIDIA card. They'll have something probably slightly faster than the 5700 XT for a little bit more, or something a little bit slower for a good bit less. Ugh. Now, this is one of the reasons why I didn't get too hyped up over Navi, and I was very pragmatic in most of my predictions and coverage of Navi, basically saying that, yeah, they're going to charge more. But I knew that this was coming the second that they talked about their Ryzen CPUs. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, how does CPUs relate to GPUs? Well, it actually tells you the direction that the company's going, because they actually classify the 3700X on up. Those CPUs are what, in their mind, is the gaming CPUs. That's what they're targeting the gamers. Gamers typically buy the $200 to $250 CPUs. When they talked about the Ryzen 5 CPUs, they kind of talked about them with a little bit of contempt. I'm just going to play this little clip here for you.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I love talking about 12-core processors. I'm going to get a 12-core processor. But it's also true that most customers buy a $250 CPU. That's what people can afford. And so our job is to give you the best freaking processor you can get for $250. So I want to show you 1440p again.
It actually sounds like he feels bad for you for only being able to afford a $200 to $250 CPU. To me, it wasn't like they were promoting it like, yeah, this kicks the snot out of like an 8700K. This is on par with that CPU that cost $400 just a couple of years ago. It's going to be an amazing CPU, but you can see how repugnant they were with those price points. They're like, oh yeah, and for you guys in the $200 price bracket, I mean, we're helping you out. We're helping you out. It's not a 12 core. It's not, but we'll give you a 6 core and it's good. So I really don't know what they're thinking internally. I mean, their CPU division's doing really well technologically, and their marketing's been pretty good on that, and I think they're going to be just fine. But the GPU department, they just don't have a clue. Paul from Not an Apple Fan, he actually did a video earlier today on the rumors that the Navi 5700 XT was going to be $499, so it's a little bit cheaper than that, so it's better than that. That would have been completely stupid. Not like this is much better, but anyway, in his video, he made a point that makes a lot of sense. In the CPU department, Ryzen came out and it bought a lot of goodwill. Ryzen 2000 came out, bought more goodwill. It was even better, and prices were good. And now the Ryzen 3000's coming out, and that's bought AMD a lot of goodwill and market leadership. This has allowed them to go ahead and reap those higher margins and make more money because they're still delivering 20% better performance at each price target. So you really can't argue with that. That's better than anything Intel's given us in quite a long time. So they kind of earned it on that side. Now on the GPU side, I get it. AMD has been selling their cards for like nothing. You know, the RX 570s at $120 being outsold by the $180 1050 Ti's. It's ridiculous. So selling stuff too cheap doesn't work either. But if they price their stuff appropriately, it would have done a lot better. Just trying to say, screw it, we're just going to charge what our competition's charging and say our stuff is equal, and hopefully that'll work. Maybe it will. I mean, if the diehard AMD fans out there continue to buy these, somebody who's like, I'm never buying an NVIDIA card, and they just go out and buy these 5700 cards, well, okay, they're going to make a lot more money, and they're probably going to be more profitable in their GPU division. Even if people that were on the fence say, screw it, we're going NVIDIA, they were probably going to go that route anyway. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. The bad part is they're not going to help the market. And God help whoever's going to, because like I said, right now, I'm sitting here right now waiting for NVIDIA to come out tomorrow to try and bring some sanity back to the market that they screwed up. Anyway, so yeah, Xbox Scarlet and PS5's looking pretty good, especially if it's $399 or $499. Not gonna lie, personally not that interested in any of these GPUs that are out now. If they did cut the RTX 2070 down to $399, I'm not gonna lie, that would be the card that I would probably get. I would have probably gotten the 5700 XT at $399-ish. If it was a little bit cheaper, that would have been nicer. But $399, I probably would have picked it up. I'm not spending an extra 12, I think it's 12.5%. I'm just doing the math in my head. But I'm not spending an extra 12.5% for literally no reason. If I wanted to do that, I could have bought the NVIDIA card 10 months ago. By the time that this launches, the RTX series would be out for 10 months, almost a year. I could have had that card for the same price for about a year. I'm sorry, it's halfway through its life cycle. It's going to be replaced next year about this time. And you're asking me to pay, what, a little bit less, 10% less? I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. And I'm going to throw it out there. The RTX features, while virtually worthless right now, I'm not going to lie, Quake 2 RTX looked pretty cool. I was checking it out. I'm not going to lie, I would like to play it because I like Quake 2. I'm a big fan of that game. The ray tracing performance on the current generation sucks, so it's not good enough. I mean, basically, the 2080 Ti's ray tracing capabilities needs to be on the 3060 or lower, in my opinion. Basically, that needs to be the baseline where the 2080 is, or 2080 Ti rather. But that's probably coming next year. And these are features that aren't on these new Navi chips. There's no hardware acceleration for ray tracing. So this lets me know that the consoles are also going to be using Navi. Lisa Su even carefully worded Xbox Scarlet will be using next generation RDNA GPU or architecture. So we know for a fact that more than likely the consoles are using, because they've said Navi, so they're clearly using Navi 20, and it appears as though a Navi 20 is going to be pretty different from Navi 10 or 12. We don't even know what we're seeing here. But anyway, I'm done. I'm kind of just rambling here because this whole situation is way out of hand, and I don't see this ending. I don't think it really matters to AMD personally. I don't think that it's going to make much of a difference to them. They're making the smart moves. They're selling their GPUs to businesses, and they're getting their stuff integrated into products. They're selling more GPUs than NVIDIA in the next couple of years, by far, because PC gaming is such a small niche market. I just don't think that they care. I think that they want to maximize their profits in that market, and if you buy it, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. And I just don't think that they care. Like I said, I can see the reason why they're going that route. It makes sense, because people aren't going to buy their stuff anyway. Doesn't matter how good it is, so... But it just sucks as a fan of PC gaming that we're relying on NVIDIA to bring sanity to the market. That's like saying, can't wait for Intel to come out and really straighten out these prices on CPUs. How ridiculous is that? It's the same situation. But anyway, guys, sorry, I just keep going. I can go on in a loop over and over on that. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm probably not going to buy one of these for testing. I'm just going to be honest with you. But if you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron over on Patreon. I still want to test out some Zen 2 stuff, so that really helps me out there, and you get access to great benefits and stuff there. But alrighty, guys, that's all I have for today, and I will catch you guys in the next video.